539 BCE. The mighty gates of Babylon swing open, not to welcome a conqueror, but a liberator. Cyrus the Great of Persia, remembered in the Hebrew Bible as a divinely appointed savior, brings freedom to the Jews held in Babylonian captivity. He grants them a choice: return to Jerusalem and rebuild what was lost, or remain. But what if they chose differently? What if, instead of turning west toward the ruins of their past, the Jewish people planted their future in Persia, establishing a homeland in the very empire that freed them? A nation born not of return, but of reinvention, a Jewish Persia. History tends to march in straight lines, names, dates, outcomes etched into textbooks like inevitabilities. But hidden behind those familiar events are the roads not taken, the forgotten possibilities that could have reshaped civilizations. Today, we explore one of those forgotten paths. An alternate past, where the Jewish people, instead of journeying back to the land of their forefathers, chose to stay, where they did not rebuild the temple in Jerusalem, but raised synagogues beneath the Zoroastrian sun, where a sovereign Jewish nation rose not in Canaan, but in the eastern reaches of the Persian Empire, a fusion of cultures, faiths, and power. Why Persia? Because no empire of its time matched the Achaemenid vision, a vast, multicultural realm knit together not by brute force, but by tolerance and administrative brilliance. Under Cyrus the Great, the empire became a mosaic of peoples, languages, and faiths, each given space to breathe, worship, and govern. He wasn't merely a conqueror. He was a civilizational architect, a ruler who issued the world's first known declaration of human rights. And for a people long denied sovereignty, justice, and safety, Persia wasn't just a refuge, it was a rare opportunity. Had the Jewish elite looked beyond the memory of Jerusalem's ruins, they might have seen something revolutionary, that the future of a new Zion wasn't westward, it was east, under Persian skies. Imagine this: a Jewish kingdom rising in the fertile provinces of Elam or Media, where rivers nourished the land and trade caravans wove together continents. A land cradled between east and west, where scrolls met spices, and prophets walked beside merchants. Positioned on the arteries of empire, this Jewish state isn't isolated, it's central. A nexus of commerce, diplomacy, and faith. Under the aegis of Persian protection, not as a subject, but as a sovereign ally, the kingdom flourishes. The Torah, no longer confined to the echoes of exile, finds new resonance in the Zoroastrian intellectual world. And from this unlikely fusion, something bold emerges: theological discourse, cultural exchange, even syncretic traditions that ripple across generations. A Judaism reshaped not by conquest or diaspora, but by dialogue and by its place in the heart of empire. As generations pass, the Jewish presence in Persia doesn't fade, it deepens. Jewish generals rise through the ranks of the imperial military, commanding not just loyalty, but respect. Scholars, scribes, and legal minds earn places at court, shaping laws and policies that echo both Torah and Avesta. Languages intertwine. Hebrew and Aramaic absorb the rhythms of Old Persian, creating a new literary voice, poetic, diplomatic, and uniquely hybrid. From this cultural symbiosis, a civilization takes root, one that transcends its origins. It isn't just religion that flourishes. The Judeo-Persian alliance becomes a beacon of governance, a hub of early philosophy, mathematics, and medicine. Schools are built where rabbinic texts sit beside royal edicts. Debates rage not in secret chambers, but in open forums. And slowly, a new identity emerges, not merely Jewish, not solely Persian, but something greater than the sum of its parts. And when the Silk Roads begin to hum with life, caravans stretching from China to the Mediterranean, this Judeo-Persian nation stands at the crossroads. Not just a marketplace for goods, but for ideas. Spices and silks pass through its borders, yes, but so do scrolls, scriptures, and philosophical thought. Rabbinic scholars in Shiraz debate with Buddhist monks from the east and Nestorian thinkers from the west. The Talmud, once shaped solely in the academies of Babylon, now draws influence from Persian legal codes, Zoroastrian ethics, and the cosmopolitan energy of a trade empire. This is no scattered diaspora born of exile. It's a deliberate spread of people, principles, and texts flowing outward from a prosperous homeland, not fleeing from a lost one. Synagogues rise in Bactria, in Samarkand, in Kasha, each rooted in Persian stone, but echoing with Jewish song. So here's the question: if the Jewish homeland had been built in ancient Persia, would Jerusalem still have risen to claim the world's imagination as its spiritual capital? Would the sacred rituals of Zion have found their fullest expression beneath the walls of David's city? Or would a new axis, Shiraz, Susa, Ecbatana, have drawn pilgrim feet and prayerful hearts? Could the shape of monotheism itself have changed, molded by Persian courtly customs, Zoroastrian cosmology, and the empire's ethos of tolerance? Would the Psalms have sung of cedar forests in Media instead of cedars on Lebanon? Would the prophet's visions have unfolded against the rugged plateau of Iran rather than the mountains of Judea? History as we know it is a tapestry woven from choices made and roads chosen. But the unchosen possibilities linger in the threads untold. What do you think might have happened? Could a Jewish Persia have reshaped history as we know it? Would monotheism have traveled different paths? Would the world's spiritual centers lie elsewhere? Drop your theories, your arguments, even your wildest alternate timelines in the comments below. Because this isn't just history reimagined. It's a story we're building together. And your imagination is part of it. History isn't just a record of what happened, it's also a mirror of what could have been. In exploring those alternate paths, we don't just imagine different pasts, we uncover deeper truths about the present. We begin to understand the weight of the choices our ancestors made, and the responsibility of the ones we make today. Because every untaken road still whispers. And sometimes, by listening, we find the questions that matter most. If you love reimagining history, questioning fate, and exploring the ripples of time, this is your place. Subscribe for more alternate timelines, grounded in real-world logic and deep historical insight. Together, we'll dive into the biggest what-ifs in human history. Not for fantasy's sake, but to understand how close we came to becoming someone else. Because sometimes, the most powerful stories are the ones that never happened.